Hey guys, how's it going? Alright, welcome back to another Use It or Snooze It collab with Brandy, the left-handed crafter. So go check out her channel after this and check out her awesome video. I know it'll be fabulous. I love all her stuff, so, you know. Anyway, especially her fall and Halloween. Y'all gotta check her out this Halloween. I know she's gonna have fabulous stuff. Anyway, okay, so we are using, each month on the last day of the month, we are using the previous month's kit from Unity Stamps, and this is the kit of the month. And we use one we don't really like or don't know how to use or whatever, and hope we end up liking it, and one that we love that we know we're going to love. So, I typically like the girl stamps on here, so it was a little hard to pick because I actually like most of these. But I am going to use that one today, and then for my Snooze It, I'm going to do this one. I don't dislike it. I actually do like it. I just don't know what to do with it. And there's not one that I just don't like. So that's what we're going with this time. And we're not actually making a card. A lady on here left a comment. Her name is Marla's Crafty. And she inspired this little tag. So thank you, Marla. But she was talking about, you know what, I think that's a little bit off, isn't it? Let me try that one more time. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. There we go. So she was talking about it would be cute to put on like handmade, homemade bread type things. So I do have some yeast that I've been kind of stocking up on. Started in like 2020 when it was, I guess, hard to find, that kind of thing. And okay, that's way better. And you know what? Let me put that back on there real quick. And we'll just pop it back on there. And there are some of the stamps, and then I've got that big one on the back. Okay, so didn't get ink on me yet, did I? Yay. Okay, so I'm going to put it on here. But first we're going to do some short little coloring. But anyway, so I'm going to try my hand at making homemade bread. I remember doing it a long time ago, but I don't know. That was back when my mother was alive, and I'm sure she was guiding me on that, because I would probably be a disaster. But I think I can do it with the power of YouTube. I can't believe I can do that now. So I'm excited. And plus, I love like walking in a house and somebody has made bread. I think that smells so good. Or going in like a fresh bakery or whatever. Yum. So, and this might be the perfect weekend to do it, because it's going to be, we're going to have like remnants from the hurricane or tropical storm, whatever it is right now, that's like hitting Florida and things. So if anybody's watching from Florida, well, you're probably not, because you probably don't have power at this point, but I hope you're okay and doing well. But anyway, so I actually wanted to meet up with a friend of mine this weekend and take her out before her surgery that she's going to have, but I also can't seem to say this as I'm about to cough, get better with this silly cough and cold or whatever it is. So yay, y'all, look, I get to use this for the first time. I have not opened it yet. It's been that long since I've crafted. Wow. But anyway, so I want to meet up with her, but I don't want to take a chance on, getting her sick or anything like that. But I'm thinking about calling the doctor and seeing if I can get another round of antibiotics, because it's annoying in the day that I can handle it, but at night, man, oh man, it's exhausting at night, I have to say. And since this kit, it does come with some nice sentiments, like those we love don't go away, they walk beside us every day, hope is the only thing stronger than fear, wishing you warm autumn days, you're one in a million. I could use that one. I might. I don't know. Let me look at it. I kind of want to just do to and from, but it doesn't come in this kit, so I don't want to, like, let me see how long that warm autumn days is. Yeah, no. Okay. Not that. So I'm going to stick with my to and from, but I will just do that later, you know, since we're sticking with the kits or whatever. And it would be cute by itself too on something, but, or you could handwrite their name. So I'm just going to put a little hole right there, I think. Yay, that worked. And then I'll tie, I apologize, y'all, if I cough and sniff and things during this video. If I wait till I'm better, you're just ordinary roll set. So, that is that. Where are my scissors? But, I mean, I am doing better. It's just, whew, at night it really kicks my butt. I don't know. And even my antibiotics run out, I think it's tomorrow. And I thought about, like I said, calling and see if she'll give me a different one, because typically I need 2 of whatever they give, 2 rounds of it. I don't know why I always have, just my body and the way it is, I guess. But I think I'm taking doxycycline or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But normally a Z-Pack will help. But normally I need like 2 Z-Packs. So hopefully by finishing this one, then going into a Z-Pack will work. So anyway, so hopefully this will hang on my little bread thing. And I don't know what I'm going to put it in or on, but I don't know if I'm going to, like, I've got some like cellophane type bags, but I don't want the bread to sweat, or I don't know. So I'll have to figure out how to put this on, but I do think that it's quite cute. So I do like it. So using it in that sense is very helpful, I think. All right, so for this one, we're going to start off with some ink here. This is the Versafine Claire Cheerful. So how have you guys all been doing? I know some of you all are sick. I hope you guys are doing better too. But I've had a time lately. I want to tell you about the dog story, mainly because I haven't shared a good dog story in a while. And this is both good and bad, so it turned out okay. But whew, it was getting hairy there for a while. I was a little scared. So they're doing well, first of all. But, so remember I talked about the girl I met at the vet who wanted Brownie. Her name was Lacey. And, she was like the vet tech or whatever. And she kind of wanted them both. And then she was like saying no, Brownie. And, so, but then when I talked to her about it again, she said she was going to, move in her new apartment, her and her boyfriend, and could I keep Brownie for her until the end of the month, which was, I guess, August. And so I honestly didn't really have too high hopes for her taking her, because she's very nice but a little flaky, right? But you know, it could work, and that kind of gave me an honest excuse to keep the dogs longer and just say, well, I'm keeping them for somebody, right? So it was on into September when I contacted her, which was actually like, well, I went 2 Saturdays ago, so it must have been like a Friday or something. But anyway, that was when I was first sick, and so I texted her to see if she was still interested in Brownie, and she said no, that she had gone back to school and and is working, and just wouldn't, you know, have time. I'm going to go ahead and do the sides of that, just in case. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but you might. So, just in case. We're just going to do all around just a little bit. And you won't be able to see it, which is what I want, but just a slight hint of it. You see it there, like a tone-on-tone effect. So, anyway, I told her, you know, well, okay, that's no problem, you know. I still need a home for them, and let me know if she hears of anybody that's, you know, good and looking for a dog. So, apparently, she put it on Snapchat, her Snapchat. And I know that's like more of a younger person, I think, thing. I don't use it myself, so I don't know. All right, we're going to put that to the side. I'm just going to let that dry. I'll just flip that over, and we're going to stamp this. This is pretty thin cardstock. I wonder if I should have used something a little thicker, a little more sturdy. But anyway, so she texted me back, like, it was really late that night, and she said, I found a home for Copper. And let's see here. I'm going to set this off center just a little bit. Probably about there, to get the girl a little more over here in the frame, I think. If not, we'll restamp it. We'll see. So I'm going to use this same brown in the pine cone, the VersaFine Clear. And so anyway, so she told me the guy's name. Well, no, that's not true. The first thing she asked me was, she found somebody, but would I be willing to go meet them? And I said, you know, sure, tell me about them and that kind of thing. And they were in, I think, North Carolina. And it was, anyway, it was going to be about 5 hours away. So I thought about it, and I thought, well, for the right person, you know, I'll take him there. And, I mean, I wasn't, like, looking forward to driving 5 hours necessarily, but, or, you know, if he wanted to meet halfway or something, that's even better, but I would rather see where he's going anyway, so I'll take him. And, so I was like, well, send me the guy's, you know, name and number, and let me talk to him, and, see pictures. I know it's like a adoption, right? See pictures of his yard, and just where he'll be, and just different things. And, so then she came back and said, no, that, sorry guys, that he wasn't interested. Okay, so then later on, that's when it was like 1 o'clock in the morning or something, she texted me and said that she found somebody else to take him, and that it was a nice guy that came to her vet and things like that. And hopefully I won't need that extra one. We'll see. I might mess this up. So do you see the color pattern that we're going for? I don't know if I'm going to go this way or this way. I think I'm going to do this way. Not that it really matters. I mean, it's fine both ways. But anyway, and you know what? I want to put this ribbon down. But I also want to do a sentiment. But I can do the sentiment inside, so I'll go ahead and do this. So, just measure that out a little bit. Snip that off. Okay. So anyway, I was kind of like a little freaked out, but I mean, that's what I want, you know, is them a good home. And so if this was Copper shot, then that's fine. I felt really bad. Like, this was when I was first sick, and I honestly, like, I just want to come home and crash and cry, honestly. Like, I'd made it through work, and I was just miserable. I actually had wanted to go to the doctor that evening, but I ended up having to stay late at work, which was even more horrible. But, I didn't make it to the doctor, so I was going to have to wait till Monday anyway, unless I wanted to go to, like, Med Express, which is double the price and all that stuff, so, I didn't, but, So I didn't feel like driving him up there, to be honest, but I didn't want to miss his chance. It was going to be about an hour away, and so she wanted to meet me at the old vet's office, which they just moved to a new location, and they needed more room and things. So it's right down the road from where the old one is, but that's beside the fact. So we were going to meet there at a certain time. You know what? I think I got that a little bit crooked, didn't I? Well, I think we're going to have to do it this way now. Yeah, I think so. To make that end up evening out right. So, okay, so I told my boyfriend, I'm like, all right, we're going to take Hopper, and he didn't really want him to go either. But, you know, I know we have to and things like that, so I'm going to go ahead and tape these in a minute. So I get him ready, and, you know, we're saying goodbye and letting him say bye to my father, and just, I don't know, just the things that you do. I packed him a bag and all his favorite treats and some toys and food, and just, you know, he likes, well, it's not he has to have it, but he likes a particular type of wet food. So I put some of that in there, and a bag of his dry that he likes, and just things, and so a bag of chews and whatever he's into, you know. And so I also put a folder in the bag of his shots, and with his tag, and you know, just printouts, whatever I've done at the vet and things like that for him. Put that in there, and then I also wrote a letter and put in there, and I asked this person, because I wasn't going to meet them. She was going to meet me and pick Copper up at the old vet, and then take him to this guy. That's the way the guy had wanted it. And I'm not feeling good about that. And, but, you know, again, to get home. And so I had already honestly just decided to follow them. And that's just what I was going to do. I was trying not to at one point, but I don't know, I had this weird feeling. So, I just pretended to, oh, anyway, in the letter, so I put, like, please, if you know, don't mind, I put how wonderful he is, and he loves treats out of your pocket. He gets so much more excited if they're out of your pocket. I don't know why. And just little cute things about him, and that he's a good traveler, and he loves car rides, and my phone number, and would they please text me, you know, every few months or so, or just sometime, to send me pictures of him growing up. I would love to see him grow up. I'm gonna cry talking about this. And so I put that in there. I didn't tell them necessarily. I just stuck it in there. And I thought, well, we'll find it later, and, you know, just learn a little bit more about him. So, so we made it. Copper was awesome on the way. We stopped and got him a hamburger, of course, and, you know, the usual things like that, you know. But, oh, what color? Let's see. I'm going to do the bench. I might, I don't know. Well, I'm going to do a few yellow leaves first. So anyway, my first clue, I guess, should have been that we got there at the time we said, and then I waited like 30 minutes. She still wasn't there, and I told my boyfriend, I'm like, she's forgotten. I'm telling you, this girl's flighty. She's forgotten. And he said, no, she'll be here. So we waited a little bit longer, and then I took Copper out for a walk, and just, you know, let him hang out and whatever. And so soon I'm like, okay, I'm tired of waiting here. Like, it's time, you know. So I texted her, and she's like, oh God, I forgot. I'll be right there. And she's like, I'm on my way now. So I was like, all right. And so I was like, I told you. And so she pulls in. It didn't take her too long, so she must not live too far from the vet. I was thinking she lived a little bit farther, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So she pulled in, and she gets out with this little tiny dog, and she said she is babysitting, like keeping the dog, babysitting the dog for her aunt while she's gone. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. But I kind of wanted the day to just be about Copper, and I don't want her distracted with some other dog. And I also didn't want him to, like, be nervous or hurt the dog, or who knows, you don't know how a dog's going to react to another dog. So I was like, well, let's get them out and see how they do, just to make sure he's okay with the dog for you traveling and things. And so we did, and Copper could care less about the dog. He sniffed it, the dog sniffed him. That was pretty much that. They were just interested in other things. So I felt, better about that. And she, like, petted him, and, hey, puppy, puppy, and, all that good stuff. And he liked her. I mean, he kind of already knew her from the vet a couple times. And so that seemed to be going okay. And so I knew it wasn't really goodbye. So I didn't cry too much at that point. I just kind of let her think that was goodbye, and I was going to follow her and pretend that I forgot the shots and be like, oh yeah, I was trying to flag you down. So homegirl pulls out, and she is flying. I don't know if it's because she's now late for this guy too, like she told him the certain time, or what, but she is flying. And so I'm going down like a city street at like 60 miles an hour, and my boyfriend's like, you gotta slow down, you're gonna get a ticket, you're gonna get a ticket. I'm like, I am not losing that car. I do not care. They can give me a ticket when I stop wherever she stops. And so I finally got up with her, and I'm a little bit of a fast driver, I feel like, but my goodness, she was rolling. I really, I know it's crazy, but I really didn't like her driving that fast with Copper in the car. I feel like that's a little unsafe from a doggy, their doggy. But anyway, so whatever. So she stops in what was in front of it used to be an old school, but it was like torn down now, and it's like a little park. So my boyfriend's like, see, she sees you behind her, and blah, 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 and she knows you're following her, because we didn't see anybody else around, so I didn't think that was the place. And there's like nothing there except that little tiny park. And I like these fall colors together, I think. I wish I had just a little bit more of a rust instead of maybe a red, but I do like, my mountains turn such a beautiful color of leaves and things. That's my favorite thing about fall around here. So, no rhyme or reason. I'm just dabbing little colors here and there, and I'll go back and fill in with something. I don't think it's gonna really matter. So anyway, we stopped, and she didn't know I was following her. That's where she's meeting the guy. And so I get out waving my little folder, because I thought she did. And I was like, oh, hi, goodness, I just could not catch you, girl. I meant to give you this. And here's the shots. And she's like, oh, okay. I said, did you see me behind you? And she's like, oh, no, this is where I'm meeting the guy. So, of course, like, I want to meet the guy. And, guess we'll do some orange. So I was like, oh, well, goodness, if he's going to come, well, I'll just give this to him and explain, what he's had, and vet-wise and things like that. She's like, oh, and I could tell, like, she didn't really want me to meet him. I was like, well, unless there'd be a problem with me knowing who you're giving him to, And she's like, oh, no, And so I said, okay, and whatever. Anyway, and so she texted him, and she said, well, he's going to be about 10 minutes. And do you have that long to wait? I'm like, oh, yeah, girl, I'm not doing anything today. I thought, I am falling over, about to die, girl. But I'm like, no, I'm good. And it's like, I got all day. And so here comes this dude walking down the hill. I didn't pay any attention to him because, like, I guess I'm expecting a car. So I didn't really give him a second look at that moment. And then she said something. She's like, "Oh, there he is." I'm like, "Oh, him?" And and I also asked her back at the old vet. I said, "Well, tell me more about this guy, other than just his first name. I mean, I said, do you know him from, like, do you have him on Facebook? Can I see a picture of him, whatever?" And she's like, "No, I just put it on Snapchat," and he replied that he'd take them. I'm like, "Oh, so you don't know him?" She's like, "Well, yeah, I know him." I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "Well, he brings his dogs to the vet." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Well, what kind of dogs does he have?" Because I knew he had other dogs. And she said they were, I think golden retrievers is what she told me. But anyway, so then so he comes down the hill, okay, but she didn't have a picture or any of that. Anyway, he's walking down the hill, and she's like, "There he is." I'm like, "Oh, okay, no car." Like, oh my goodness, who are you? So he's like dressed to the nines, like all red shoes, red pants, red shirt, whatever. I'm like, okay, but he's young, and I knew he was supposed to. Well, I didn't know till I got there to the old vet, but she said he lives with his parents. So I thought, well, good, like some responsible people, and if he's a little young, then that'll balance that out. And when I saw him, I mean, I don't know, he looked like a nice young man, I guess, before he spoke. But he, I thought he's young, he could like run with the dog and that kind of thing. So maybe have energy. He supposedly had a fenced in yard and that kind of thing. So the guy gets there. He talks to me a little bit, not much. But I'm like, "Well, this is Copper, blah blah blah." He makes no attempt to pet the dog. Who does that? Like, if you're adopting a dog, who does not try to, like, "Oh, hello, puppy," kind of like she did at the car when she just first saw him. You just, like, I don't know how you can be a dog person or willing to take in a dog and not want to, like, pet him. I'm not saying hugging him and kiss him at this point, but just, a little affection. But there was none. So that was like a big red flag. And so then he kept talking a little bit, and I was telling him about the shots and whatever. And he said, "Okay." And so I was like, "You use the same vet, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And it was just kind of like one word guy. And so he said, "Well, what kind of dog is he anyway?" And I said, "He's just kind of mixed. I don't know really." I thought the vet didn't really know. He's like, "And how old is he?" And I said, "Well, he's, approximately a year or so, the vet thinks." And we're just kind of guessing. And so I said, "How old are your dogs?" And he said about the same age. And I thought, well, that could be good, because I don't want them to get mad at Copper for being in his puppy phase and chewing everything. But if he's got dogs that are that old, then he's, probably expecting that. And so I thought maybe that was a good thing. I'm going to give this little bird, it's going to be a little red bird, I think, for today. And then a little red here, a little red here. And so then I asked him what kind of dogs that he had, just kind of like the girl hadn't told me. And he's like, "Oh, I've got pit bulls." I'm like, "Oh." And not that I personally love pits. I had one and raised it, and I think they get a bad rap and all that stuff. Like, they're just as lovable as any other dog. However, in this particular county that I was in, here and about another 3 hours down the road are two of the number one dog fighting ring type places for pit bulls. And people come in, they want, actually in this county, not the county I'm in now, but the county I was in then, they won't even let you have a new pit bull, like adopt a new one. They like grandfathered some in and that kind of thing, but they wouldn't let them have new ones or whatever. So that was a little bit odd to me, because I knew he lived in city limits. And I thought, how does, I guess they're not like registered or anything. So I didn't really like that, but anyway, so we kept talking, and I was telling him just his crazy little, things going on, and I'm going to give her a nice orange outfit, I guess. She's wearing a nice orange hoodie today, I guess. Anyway, so then he was getting ready to leave, and Copper would not walk for him on a leash. I had like a collar and a leash on him, and he was kind of pulling him, and I didn't see where the guy came from exactly, but I knew it was apparently 10 minutes away, and I said, would you like me to give you guys a ride, like, and follow you up there or whatever, so that, kind of nicely saying so you don't have to drag him up there. I said, just, since he's just getting used to everything or whatever. He's like, no, I know how to train a dog on a leash, I don't know, it just felt so cold. And, but my boyfriend's like, you can't take him back home. Your dad's already, like, excited that he's leaving and whatever, and this is what you wanted was home. He wasn't sure about him either, but we just kind of kept giving each other looks. And I don't know. So he was like, get in the car, let's just go. So I was definitely crying at that point, but I kind of put a special little dog blessing, I'll say, on the dog. And anyway, I was really laying it on thick to the guy too, that they were going to have a wonderful life together. And the guy he wasn't even speaking. I don't even know who I was talking to, just the universe, I guess, trying to put it into existence, like speak it into existence. So I think I'm going to weak a stillet, if I have one handy. I do actually have a new one, so, this kind of glitter pen from scrapbook.com. I love those. So I did leave. I mean, that's what I came there for. And so I was like, maybe I'm just being too emotional and too judgmental and too, because I don't want him to go. And I know, I know my boyfriend felt like that. And he also, though, he did go near her dog and say, no real emotion, but he did scratch its head and say, oh, how cute, but it was very little and cute, and I get Copper's a little bigger and, gawkier or whatever, but, still, if you're going to adopt a dog, I don't know, you should just be excited about it. He still had not petted the dog at this time, but Copper wasn't, like, barking or anything like that at him, so, I mean, he, it wasn't like, I don't know, it was just really strange. So, anyway, I pulled out very, very sad, very hesitantly, and I went up to the top of the hill, and I just could not, like, let it go, and I just had the worst feeling, like he was just going to put him in some kind of, there's one I didn't color, put him in a dog ring or something, and I felt like it was already, everybody, for some reason, I don't really see it a lot, but everybody says Copper looks like a pit, or at least a pit mix, and he may have a little in him, I don't know, but there's two again, but anyway, so, you do have to, be careful there, and it just, I don't know, I just couldn't get a good feeling about it, and when I don't have a good feeling, like, it just doesn't go away, and I cannot relax until I fix whatever it is, and I know good and well that I should listen to my feelings, right, like, I know this, been through it 100 times, and when I don't, I always regret it, so, anyway, so we went up to the top of the hill, and I was driving real slow, trying to look back and whatever, but as I was leaving, I heard him say to Lacey, he's like, so, like, he kind of pointed at her, he's like, so you're Lacey, right? And he was a little friendlier with her, but it kind of sounded like they weren't bosom buddies, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't know her. And, like I was kind of led to believe, like they were big buddies or something. So I didn't feel good about that either. I thought, well, she's pretty flaky, and honestly, what does she really know about this guy? And I think she's a good person, and I would feel fine about, like, say, Brownie going there or whatever. But I just, for Copper, I just, he was going somewhere else. And I mean, she's not so flaky, like she wouldn't feed them or something like that. But I don't know. I didn't feel good about this guy. So I made it to the top of the hill. I sat there in the road a minute, and I turned around and went back. And I told my boyfriend, I'm like, look, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I will take them to the shelter. I don't know, but whatever. It's something, it's got to be better than this. Like, this just feels wrong, and I have to, I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm going to get the dog. And by that time, he was basically in agreement to just go get the dog, because he felt it too. Like, you can't not feel it. I'm telling you. The feeling is strong. So, he's like, okay, just go get him. So I turned around and went back down the hill, and they were already gone. And there was no Copper. And I'm like, oh my God, he lives. Okay, so he's walking. A, right? You know that. B, he's at least 10 minutes away. So we were on one main road. So he's got to be down one of these side roads if it took him 10 minutes. So, I decided, well, okay, we'll take all the side roads. And so I went around and around and around, and I didn't see anything. And I was kind of devastated at that point. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? And I just felt like Hopper is not safe there. He wouldn't be happy, and it's just not good. And I should have never let it happen to start with. But I was trying, like, trying not to be a big baby and just think that I want to keep the dog, but that just wasn't it. I just could not get rid of that feeling. So I kept going down the roads and nothing. So I said, all right, I feel like this guy is just not, something's shady there. Something's up. And let me squeeze that out just a little bit more. Oh, goodness. I do it a little bit and then I get too much. So is that going to be too much glitter? Maybe not. Maybe once it dries a little. I'm not really coloring each of the leaves. I'm just sort of just dabbing at them, I guess. Kind of like the way I colored them. Not perfect. But anyway. So, I decided that I was going to, if the guy was shady, he would take money for the dog, right? I felt like I could buy him back. Plus, I could tell he wasn't already impressed that he wasn't a pet. I didn't know this guy had pets. I would have just told her no, on the phone. And just the whole 9 yards, And so anyway, I decided, all right, I'm going to call the Lacey girl, have her call, because I didn't have his number or anything, and have her contact him. And I was headed to Walmart because I only had like $2 with me, or cash anyway, And I was going to go get like a pack of gum or something and use my debit card to get cash back. And I was going to try to literally just buy the dog back. And so all this time, so we go, and I'm crying the whole way in the store. And anyway, I'm devastated. And boyfriend doesn't know what to do with me. He's like, it'll be okay. We'll figure out something. I think he'll take the money, just relax. And but I just messed up so royally. I feel like that I just, So anyway, but I needed to go to the bathroom because it'd been like I said, it took an hour or so to get there, and we waited on her, and then we followed them and all this stuff. And so I really could not resist going to the bathroom. So I had to go. And while I was in the bathroom, I was sitting there. I was yeah, a little bit too much information, I know. But I was about to flush. And I was just sitting there kind of just, I don't know, like my heart was just sinking. And I thought, please let this work. Please let this work. And anyway, my phone rang. And it was like, it was a unknown number or whatever. And normally, I don't even answer stuff I don't know on the weekends. It's always like a telemarketer or something crazy, right? So, but this time, I thought, okay, I should answer it. And I said hello, just kind of heartbroken sounding, I guess. And he's like, you know who this is? I felt like I was talking to somebody in the mob. He's like, you know who this is? And I said, yes, it's the guy with Copper. And he's like, yeah. And I thought, okay, he's going to shake me down. You're trying to get some money out of me. You know I love this dog. And you're going to tell me. And buddy, I'm going to fall for it today, too, because I'm going to pay you what you want. It wasn't. He said, it's just not working out with the dog. I was like, all right. I didn't. He started to say something else. I don't even know what he was going to say. But I was like, all right, where are you? I'll be right there. What, can you meet me back at the park? Like, where are you? I'll come to you. And he said, yeah, I can meet you at the park. I was like, all right, I'm on my way. Told him where I was, which was like right down the road. But anyway, I walked out. My boyfriend was coming back. He needed to go to the bathroom too. I'm like, nope, you gotta hold it. Let's go. We're getting the dog. He's like, what? Did you call him already? Did you? I'm like, no, he called me. We're getting the dog. So we're both like running to the car. I pull up. I'm flying back through town. He's like, slow down again. And I'm like, no, I'm getting that dog. And so I pull in. It's on like a major hill. Still hoping that my parking brake works because my car is, falling apart. But anyway, I was a little worried about that the first time too. But anyway, I flung my door open. I saw him sitting on the little bench or whatever. Copper was like just laying there. And he jumped up. He saw the car and he ran to my car and jumped in. And I was like kissing all over him and whatever. And so the guy just stands there at the window. And I just said thanks, bye. And anyway, he's like, you need your stuff back. And I was like, oh, well, I thought, well, hell, I hadn't thought about that, to be honest. I could care less about stuff. And I was like, well, I guess, it would be nice to have his tags and stuff back, or shots and stuff. I said, but I don't care, really. I don't have to. He's like, yeah, I can get that. And so he starts walking up the hill. I was like, do you want me to follow you? And because I kind of wanted to see where he was coming from anyway. But he literally only went like 2 houses from where we were. If I would have just watched, I guess I could have seen him walk. But I was paying attention to the girl back when we first, dropped him off. And I wasn't expecting somebody who was walking. And so he was only like 2 houses away. And I've been on all these back roads and all this stuff. But so finally, he brought the folder. I didn't care about all the treats and all that. His dogs can keep all that stuff. But I was just so happy to have him, and my boyfriend was kissing all over him, and we were just thrilled. But and then my dad was texting. He's like, how's it going? I'm like, I thought, how I'm not going to tell him this in a text. I thought, I put better now. And I guess he figured I was like getting over my crying or something. But yeah, that wasn't quite what it was. But anyway, so the guy comes back down the hill, hands me the folder. Finally, he pats Copper on the head, barely, just tap, tap, and said, he's like, bye, boy. That's all he said. And he just walked away, and I'm still just loving all over him and whatever. And oh, y'all just don't even know like how thankful I am that dog's back. But I promise, I seriously am okay with him getting a home. I know you think I'm not, just like everybody in this, when I tell them this story, they think I'm not. But I do want a good home for him. Yet, would I love to keep him if I could? Yes, of course. But I can't, I don't have the location, and my dogs can't deal with them, so, I can't do it to mine. But, anyway, I just feel like I should find him a better place, better than this guy. And I think it was just divine intervention, and it just worked out. And maybe because I laid it on so thick, I was like, you guys are going to have a beautiful life together, and I know you're a good man, which I felt like, I'm like, no, you're not. But I thought by saying it, I was like, nobody that would take a dog in like this could ever do any harm to it. You're a kind soul, you're this, you're that. Like, I was pouring it on. And I said, no harm will ever come to this dog. Like, I'm just totally blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so whatever. I got the dog back. He's out here on his blankies and doing okay. chasing the trailer people. They pulled in some double wides. A neighbor bought a new double wide trailer, and maybe eating a little bit of the man's whatever on his truck today. But other than that, he's been great, and I think he was happy to be home. We took him to a real park after that and got him another hamburger, and we ate and whatever, and we all enjoyed the park some, and just lots of loving. And it was so weird. Like, even on the way, he's a crier. Like, he cries if you stop petting him. He cries if he just cries. Like, if you pet the other dog too much, he's like, ah, and then you got to take care of him. But this time, he just cried the whole way up there. It's like he knew something was wrong. He knew, like, I don't know, just so many little signs. And I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I listen to all the signs and all the whatever. But anyway, he's back, so story over there. And here is my card. I've done talked up the whole entire card, haven't I? But anyway, so I'm thankful for that. It's been very eventful since he has gotten back as far as other stuff in life we've had, which is why I haven't been on here as much either. I just haven't felt like it. And then we had water issues. We've got like the whole yard dug up and giant holes and the water pipe and the stuff. And anyway, we have water now, so that's good. But we still have to, we're probably going to have to put new pipe across the yard. And anyway, but it's working for now, so I'm thankful. And then on top of that, my father found out that he went to get a CT scan because, he'd had a couple x-rays for the pneumonia he'd had a couple times. But now he has a blood clot in his lung, and he had some back in 2013, and we almost lost him. He was in the hospital a couple weeks, and he had them all in his legs and things, and they put one of those filters in there that, like, stops it or catches it from going on up to, like, his heart or lungs and stuff. But there was, like, a recall in the filter, so it was breaking off and things. Or his wasn't, but some in the recall, I guess were. So they took it out, but they never put him back in. Okay, so it's saying I've got low battery. I'm going to go, and, yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. And this is my use it card, and this is my snooze it little thing. It's not a card, but still something I'm going to use. And I do believe I like them both. I love the color palette. I'm ready for fall. Bring it on. And I'll talk to you guys more coming up, okay? So I'm going to go before this cuts me off. Bye, guys. Did that not get any of that after I started talking? Well, I went on the low battery mode, so it might, whatever. Anyway, so back to my father. They put a filter in, but then they took it out because it was breaking off, and didn't put another one back in, and also never put him on blood thinner, which was odd, but we thought was odd anyway. But we would ask other doctors, and they're like, well, if that doctor didn't, then it's okay, or whatever. So anyway, he just started a new blood thinner called Eliquis, and it's very, very expensive too. Ooh, that was a shocker. But anyway, yesterday, and he takes one at 7 in the morning, one at 7 at night, and we're just very scared that he has so many blood clots in his legs that those may move, or this may do something, and he could be gone at any minute. So, but he's feeling really good. I mean, nothing else has changed. He didn't even know he had one. He was out there digging and everything else, but he shouldn't have been. But we had the water issues, so I don't know. But you guys just keep him in your thoughts and send him good, positive, healing vibes and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's what's going on my end of the world. What's going on y'all's end of the world. So thanks for hanging out for this use it or snooze it. And stay tuned for 3 on the 3rd coming up. I'll hopefully do that this weekend. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.